That's the sound of a bad wheel bearing. Okay, now here's what a hub assembly looks like that's gotten water all up in it. Looks like a milkshake, kinda all nasty. So it's a good thing that these were getting serviced here today. Alright, welcome back to the shop, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about trailer hubs, trailer bearings, trailer wheel assemblies. We're going to be repacking some bearings, going over the seals and how to check them, how to kind of see how everything's looking. So, a couple signs of a bad wheel bearing are dirty grease, grease flung around in the tire like we have over on this side over here. See the grease flung around over here. Excessive play, so if you jack up your trailer, and you can see the excessive play in this bearing here, in this hub assembly, because these are single nut bearings here, and you don't want a positive or a negative pressure. You want them pretty much neutral. So we'll show you how to tighten those and go through the wheel bearing. And if that sounds like fun, stick with us. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take the tire off. You don't have to take the tire off the hub assembly to do this, but it does make it a lot easier. Time. Okay, so now with that off, you can really see how much play is in this hub here, and that's not good. So what you want to do here is see if there's any leakage on the back of this hub here, and that's where the back seal is. And if you take a look right in this area here, this is your back seal of the hub, and you can kind of see what the condition is, you know, if a lot of grease is leaking out of this area or what. This hub's so loose, so it's going to have a little bit of leakage here. But if this seal is bad, you do want to replace it. Okay, so let's get this cleaned up here. You want to scrape some of this grease off of there. There it goes. See how it kind of walk it off. You're gonna have a castle nut under here with a cotter pin through it, or at least you should. So I'm just going to work on cleaning this up for a minute, and then we'll bring you back in. Now someone has something that's not a cotter pin through this, and this is not how you do this. This is a piece of bar, and that's not correct. That's supposed to be a cotter pin. What a pain. Definitely despising the fellow that did this. This looks like some type of clothes hanger or something like that, but it's not the right material in there, so it's stuck and I can't get it out, so I'm probably gonna have to cut it off and try to hammer it back out the other direction. with a small punch. So that's the plan here. Don't use the coat hanger as the nut or the cotter pin for this. Okay, but as you can see here, let's have a castle nut on here. Castle nut. Now we can just slide this hub right off of the spindle here. You want to clean this spindle off here. And black grease can be a sign of overheating. Or it'll just be a sign of dirtiness. But as long as this hub's in good shape, or I'm sorry, this spindle, excuse me, all these parts are pretty readily available. Most of these spindles are going to be weld on. There are a few that are bolt on, but if you have a problem with your spindle, your repair is going to be quite a bit more extensive. So you can see these two holes in here. This is where the grease comes, well, excuse me. This is where your cotter pin goes through, but this hole here is where the grease is going to come out to fill your hub. Pump it in here, comes out here. We'll show you that in a little bit. We're going to take these items into the shop here and get them cleaned up. Okay, welcome back to the shop. If you've been with us before, you've seen this view many a time. Here's our hub that we're working on. This is the dust cap. I'm going to get a little container full of gasoline, soak these in, get this stuff cleaned up. Pop your bearing out here. We're going to do the same with these. That's how I clean them. Clean this hub all out. We're just going to drop these. Definitely want a garbage can handy when you're cleaning all this grease up. Alright, so here's the outer hub bearing. Throw that in there. So I'm just going to get all the grease cleaned out of here and then I'll bring you back in. Look what I just noticed on this hub. At some point someone put some weld on there. One of these splines in here must have been spinning. They're trying to tighten the lug nut. That's a cobble weld job, man. Jeez. Okay, let's pull that bearing out of our gasoline here. Clean it off and have a look at it. Oh yeah, this bearing's bad. You can see all that pitting in there. That's why I like to clean them off in gas. If you don't leave all that grease on them, you really can't see what's going on. But you can see all the rust on this bearing. So that's no good. Let's check out the inside of the hub here. You can see all the pitting on the race here. Hopefully you can see that. That's no good as well. Water has gotten into this hub and destroyed this bearing. Well, it moved, but I think my screwdriver also slipped off. There's no spring in there. There's usually a spring in these seals, I believe. Okay. So this is the inner race from that outer bearing, and it's also pretty pitted up and destroyed. This is the inner bearing. We're gonna put it into our gasoline cup here. And we'll see how that looks. Not really expecting a whole lot better, just by the shape that everything on this particular trailer has been. I guess we're gonna get to push the the races out of here too. So we're gonna get to do everything on the video, which is cool. Yeah, this one isn't any better. You can already tell by looking at the race here. So we'll show you how to drive these races out of here, put new ones in, and get this trailer back in service. Oh yeah, she's pretty bad as well here. See all the rust and pitting on that. That's no good. I don't know if you guys wanted to see it or not, but I took all the bearings out of there. There's the inner race there. It's pretty bad looking, really. So new bearings it is for this trailer, and we'll get her back in service. Then we'll work on some other ones. I gotta order some parts though, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Alright, we got some parts here. Your eye cap there, a couple bearing sets. These kits also have the axle nut in them, or the washer, which is good because whoever serviced this before, like I said, didn't put that back on. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna drive these out the old-fashioned way with a chisel. We're gonna get right down in here. So you'll be able to see, I'll bring it over. You can see down in there, there's a lip down in there. We're gonna put our chisel right on that lip and hammer. So let me see if I can get you a shot set up here. You can see it coming out there. Okay, we've got this chalked up in the vise now, so we have somewhere for the bearing to fall out. Or I'm sorry, the race to fall out, not the bearing. I'm just alternating sides here to drive it out relatively straight. Definitely put your safety splints on while you're doing this. Comes. One race out, you can see all that pitting in there. Drive out the second race here. There comes out the second one. On this particular trailer and hub assembly, they're the same size, the inner and outers. A lot of trailers, they'll be different sizes, inner and outer bearings, but this particular one, they're about the same. Okay, so we're gonna clean the rest of this hub up here. I want to make sure this seat here is looking smooth all the way around. It is. Everything in here is good. If this is pitted or grooved up or anything, you want to replace the hub. Everything's looking good though, so let's put our new bearings in. So we've got our new bearings here. Some China stuff. Everything is made in China nowadays. So, I don't know if these are any good, but... Okay, so this is going to be my setup for driving this race in here, I think. Just give her the old tappy. You can see it's going in here. You just want to keep it driving in there relatively straight if you can. Okay, I think that race is all the way in there. Everything's looking good so far. A little bit more to go here. Oh, and you guys tipped over. I think it's in. Okay. Got our races installed. We're gonna blow all this out before we put it back together. You want to keep this very clean. Now we need to pack these bearings. Okay, so we're gonna show you how to pack these bearings here. It's relatively simple. They do make bearing packers and tools for this. Basically put the bearing in there and push a plunger down, and it pushes grease through the whole bearing at once. We're gonna do it the manual way here. We're gonna take grease and push it through the bottom or the outside of the bearing until it comes out of this inner part of the bearing here. So you're just gonna take a bunch of some grease in the palm of your hand here, and you're just gonna kind of knead the bearing into it. And I'll show you here. This is kind of a messy process. So you just get a glob in your hand there. You're just gonna kind of force that grease up into the bearing. You can see it starting to come out there. And that's essentially what you're looking for, is all those rollers to be packed. I kind of made a mess here. But you just keep working your way around until you see that grease. Come up through the bearing there. You also want to fill this hub with grease. If you have a grease zerk on your trailer, you can do it later, but it does take a while to fill this cavity up. Oh, let's get our seal put in there while we're here. So we're just gonna take one of these bearings here, take a little bit of this grease, and just lubricate that seal, help it slide on there. Okay, now we're gonna press this in. Same thing, I'm just gonna use this socket. These you just want about flush. There, perfect. That's ready to go on. Out on the trailer. So let's go out there now. Okay, so we're back out here. I'm just gonna clean this up with a little bit of sandpaper here. Alright, my battery died. Okay, that's good. This is the same red grease we're using inside there. Just gonna clean out. What the f? So now I'm thinking I know why they had that bigger deal in there, but anyway. Take a little bit of that red grease there, right around where that seal rides. Shoot some all over the shaft. Grab our freshly assembled hub. I'm just gonna slide it on there. I'm gonna put that in. Smash all that grease in there. Put on our washer. And our nut. Now we need to seat the bearings into the races, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so I have the socket for this, but we're just going to use this today. And basically what you want to do is tighten these up to about 50 foot-pounds or so. Then you want to rotate the hub. See, a lot of people don't do this step, And what happens is, after you drive down the road, your zero end play will be wrong. Because on a trailer bearing, that's what you're going for, is zero end play. You know. Okay, now we can back this nut off. And we're finger tight again. So now I see why they had that thick wire in there. Whoever drilled these holes should have drilled them off center for this cotter key, because all the grease just comes right out of it. Okay, so I got our custom cotter pin made here. I just ground it down a little bit. So you want to tighten this castle nut down, finger tight. You want to go to your closest hole. So for our closest hole, but this in our case, we're just going to back it off a little bit. That's our closest hole. I'm going to tap this through. Tap it in there. We're going to have to bend this like that, and I'll just cut that off so it'll fit in the cap. And that is one done trailer hub. It should spin a couple of revolutions with no tire on it, or I'm sorry, with a tire on it. So we'll just go cut that off now, and this side is done. Fitting here will help us do that. If not, yeah. Put our cap on. There we go. That thing was being stubborn. Let me clean that up a little bit, then we'll put it back on there. There, that's a little better. What do you guys think? Okay, so if you guys remember in the beginning of the video when we were checking the end play on these tires, how much end play we had. And now we have zero end play. Tire feels good. Feels good rotating, nice and smooth. This is all done. This side's done. We're going to do the other side, and this trailer will be ready to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. If you don't, well, don't. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching. Okay, this is on the other side. I figured I'd just show you. Look at all this end play we have in this bearing. Going down the road like that, the hub can eventually fall off. The bearing fails. Obviously, that'd be very bad. And you can hear that. That's this. That's the sound of a bad wheel bearing. So I'm gonna time lapse this side for you guys. All right, let's do it. No washer on this side either. So whoever did this in the past definitely messed up. It's supposed to always be a washer on the outside castle nut. Alright, let's get this stuff into the shop and get it cleaned up. Alright, we're going to get this grease all cleaned out of there. This back bearing out, the races driven out, hub all cleaned up, new races put in, bearings packed, and we'll put it back on the trailer. We're gonna speed this up a little bit for you guys. If I find anything interesting, I'll bring you back in.